We have got 2 minutes to go on the clock. And you are watching the Slipstream Esports Championship. Hello everyone and welcome. I am your commentator Omi, and now it is time to conclude this season, a journey that has taken us all the way to Spa, and we are in the final moments of this session, as I mentioned, as we look to try and crown some class winners. We are taking a look right now at one of the most famous corners in all of motor racing, and I'm delighted to be with you here for this season finale, which, as I mentioned, is going to see champions crowned. Who will be those champions will definitely be an interesting topic. We will work that out across the rest of today. We've not got long to go in this qualifying. It is right now Tamjid bin Sultan, who is P1 at 2 minutes 17.072. And then it is Abdullah Ayaz in second. Shadman Sadiq is in third. And this is, as we mentioned, the final race. The final race of this championship. Meaning everything now needs to basically come true for the drivers. The performances they've been dreaming of all season, it's now that they need to happen. So, here is Ishraq Rahman as they make their way up towards the line. Very close margins between the drivers there, and there will not be any improvement there. So, Rahman is done. Here is Omar as well, currently in 9th position. As we climb now, all the way up, through, down the Kemmel Straight, and towards the Omicomms chicane. You can see at top of screen, the corner names there. You go through all of the brilliant turns that make up this Spa circuit. 8 seconds to go on the clock. How is this order going to shape out? Remember, this is a battle for the Pro Championship and the Pro-Am Championship as well. Tamjid bin Sultan has a 16.5 points advantage when it comes to the points battle, and here on the circuit he has got an advantage of track position, because right now he's the fastest car, the fastest driver out there on the circuit, and he is very much putting himself a step closer to the crown. Shadman Sadiq is his rival and he's P3. Abdullah Ayaz, third in the championship. He is P2. So you've got the top 3 in the championship, the top 3 on the road, but in a slightly adjusted order. One thing that hasn't changed at all is, of course, Bin Sultan continuing his domination as he looks to try and wrap up and take the championship. The championship is absolutely being decided today. It is this final race. We had a race yesterday, which wasn't broadcasted, and then we're back with you here today for a broadcast which will see champions crowned, as I mentioned. That's the main focus of today, which is why things are going on the circuit, but we are still having to run you through this vital and important information, because, you know, all of these results, all of these qualifyings make up an entire tournament, and the whole tournament is on the line today. Let's see with Omar over the line there in 8th. So that's them over the line. We're taking a look at Tanzila Mapub. At the moment, driver is 14th. As you can see, one of the drivers nearer to the bottom. Of course, they compete in the AM class. Out of the final corner and up towards the line. P15. So considering that class, good effort from them, even though overall it might appear like that they are nearer to the bottom. That is a very good job well done, I think it is fair to say. And there we go. There we go. That is qualifying complete. And here is your circuit. Let's run you through it now as well. If you are just joining us, as I mentioned in commentary, my name is Obi. Of course, you would have been watching on this session and then got a bit of commentary near the final 2 minutes. But I hope you all enjoyed it. And of course, you'll have commentary now all the way through right to the end of the tournament. You can see a lot of iconic corners being highlighted by the map, all of which see plenty of racing, plenty of action, and that is what makes up a lap of the Spa circuit. And who is going to come out on top? Very nearly time to find out. We mentioned the championship standings, and well, you can see Tamjid bin Sultan is on top. Ignore the points on those. They are slightly out of date, but I can assure you that Tamjid bin Sultan has got 85 points next to his name once you add up as well the next few rounds. So we'll take it over for the moment for the Pro-Am, because I've already run you through the Pro Championship standings at the moment. Zubair Zaman right now leads the way, 72 points, and these are up to date. Then we have Tamim Nasser, who is on 71. So a single point right now is separating first and second in the Pro-Am Championship, and it means it is going to be so close. This is the AM standings as well, and it is Mabab who is very much on top, but she's extended the advantage. Once again, with those standings, they are slightly out of date, but I can definitely assure you that Mabab has done very well over the last few races. Once those results are added, he's got himself a good points total, is what I'll say. Let's run you through the grid for the final race of the season. Tamjid bin Sultan is P1. Abdullah Ayaz is going to be starting in second, and then it is Shadman Sadiq and Zohaib Hussain third and fourth. Of course, the top three in the championship are the top three on the road in a slightly different order, as I mentioned. Hussain is fourth, Abir Ahmad is fifth, and Zubair Zaman is in P6. So that is the first of your championship contenders when it comes to the Pro-Am standings. P7 is Ashraq Rahman, and then we find ourselves with Tamim Nasser, who is the one who is fighting away with Zubair Zaman, so that'll be an interesting point. Basically, it's mostly a case of whoever finishes ahead of those two is the champion, pretty much, if they are in the points. Isaiah Amar is P9, and then Sombit Dewan is 10th position. Yasir is in 11th, and then it is Zayan Intaz in 12th. Next we find ourselves with Sayem Rahman in 13th, and Nabi Nirad is next in the order in P14 on the grid. Tanzila Mahbub, the leader of the AM standings, is next to Hussein in P16, and then Mohammed Rahman in 17th, and Ali Arman is next up. And the final car for the final race of season number 1 of the Slipstream Esports Championship. I'd like to quickly give a little shout out to Zenetic Esports, our broadcast partner here, and also our trophy sponsor, Vanquish Paradox Gaming as well. They've all helped make this possible, along with Auto Gaming Rebels. And now, very nearly time to get this show on the road, pretty much. This is the final moment. Everything that you have worked towards this season comes down to this moment. The moment where the championship is on the line, and a moment in which it is game on right until the end. It'll be a 45-minute race. And it will be one which will hopefully be fought for all the way until the very end. Are we going to see any twists in this championship? Tamjid bin Sultan, due to his previous results, is in a good position. 16.5 points is very good. But it's not over till it's over, and it can very much change in the Pro standings. In the Pro-Am standings, it's a case of who finishes ahead of those two drivers. Is it going to be Zubair Zaman? Is it going to be Tamim Nasser? Well, they are 6th and 8th on the grid. So they are very much close together with only one car separating them and only 1 point separating them in the championship. This journey that has taken us all the way from Spain to Paul Ricard, a double-header there, to Zandvoort, and then to a double-header here at Spa. We had one race yesterday, this is the second one today, and this one is the one which sees the fight for the championship, the fight for the crown, to see who is going to win it all in season number 1. It's very much game on in the Pro-Am standings. In the Pro standings, you'll need a bit of drama. But this is the Slipstream Esports Championship, where anything is possible and anything can happen. And now, here at Spa, for one final time this season, we will put our foot flat to the floor very shortly and get the season finale underway as we look forward to crowning our champions this season. They're all taking it very much calm as we make our way down into La Source. It's very much a wait as they try and get 2 by 2. And then they will try and boot the throttle hard and get on with it. Here we go. Into formation they fly. Neck and neck. This is where it all comes down to. The stage is set. We've got our championship contenders, and now we let them battle it out to see who is going to come out on top. Who's going to win in the Pro standings? Who's going to win in the Pro-Am standings? It is all to play for, and we are underway and racing at Spa. We go through some of the most iconic corners in all of motor racing. The cars sprayed all over the road, and it is Tamjid bin Sultan who looks to try and make his break at the front of the field, but it's side by side for third, and Shadman Sadiq looking in his mirrors. That is not what he wanted at the start, and it's super tight as we head down into Le Comp for the first time, and it is Shadman Sadiq who hangs on to the place. Abir Ahmad could not get there, but it is Sultan who's doing exactly what he needs to at the moment, maintaining the advantage, maintaining the lead, and if he can stay there for 44 minutes more, he will be the champion, the Pro champion of this series. Also very interestingly, I should say that Tamim Nasser has got Tamim Nasser momentarily got up to 7th. That would have put him right next to Zubair Zaman. That's another interesting fight we must keep an eye on. A reminder to you, whatever we leave today with protests in terms of appeals of decisions and stewarding, it can still change the order, but provisionally we're left with what we will be left with, and we will crown some champions and hope they remain the same as well. But of course you can keep an eye on the Slipstream Esports Instagram to, well, be the first to be told of any changes post this race. So we're well and underway for the season finale contest, and a good advantage for Tamjid bin Sultan off 9/10 of a second. Heads into the corner nicely with a good gap. It's very close though, further back in the order. So over the line we go and in towards the first turn. How is everyone looking on under braking? Shadman Sadiq will be desperate to try and go and chase down his rival. He will still need things to go his way because, as I said, the gap is 16.5 points. We award the same points as Formula 1. 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 and 1. Shadman Sadiq is looking to try and make an impact. He's the driver who you're watching at the moment. Of course, if anyone goes back to Zandvoort, we had some great crazy battling there, and I'm hoping that it will continue here at the Spa circuit, wheel to wheel. Zubair Zaman coming under pressure. Now this is very much important, and as they make their way by, so Zubair Zaman is right now P6, and you're taking a look now at Yasser. So Yasser's right now in the mix as they fight their way by. And look at how close this is getting. Heading downhill into P1 corner. Yasser trying to be brave all the way around the outside. Nirad's going to be there for company. Intaz is going to be in the mix too. And they're all over the curve as they fight away. And this is crazy battling to kickstart racing action here at Spa. Listen to the sounds of these engines. This GT3 machinery, different brands of course. Oh, sliding through P1. Omar fighting away with the car and then some. And Omar's coming in. Omar is coming into the pit lane on this lap. We head down, and Tamim Nasser, of course, battling for that Pro-Am Championship. I mean, realistically, it's a four-way fight because you cannot completely ignore that Sombit Duran and Sayem Rahman are also in there, but right now Zubair Zaman is ahead of them all, so it doesn't really matter. So, at the moment, we're provisionally looking to crown two champions nicely and easily. Through a ridge we go, getting closer all the time. Here comes Tanzila Mabab, looking to get onto the back of Sarah Hussein. Yasser is trying to get onto the back of Nirad as well. Mabab sends it up the inside. Oh, bit of contact under braking as they fight their way through. And yes, they do indeed fight their way through and end up gaining a position. Very close meanwhile for second place on the circuit. That is why we're cutting to it. It's a very quick opening sector. And Shadman Sadiq is giving Abdullah Ayaz something to think about on this lap. 38 minutes ago, it is closer than I'm sure Abdullah Ayaz would have wanted. And Shadman Sadiq has to just risk it. He has to send it in because, you know, if he wants to win it all this season, he's going to need things to go his way. Over the curves we go. On the outside, on the inside. In towards the final few turns now here at Spa. Bus stop chicane. And it is foot flat to the floor. So you blast down towards the first turn of Les Sources, which opens up another lap and opens up another adventure. It quite literally is for drivers because they are really fighting away with it across an entire lap here. Look at the momentum that Sombit Duran's got. Looking to try and go through. The overspeed was massive. Really got the slingshot out of a rouge, through Radion. You got to the top of the hill and then down the straight. It was a blast by and Sombit Duran moves up to 6th position. And is he going to be a factor in this championship? He is 3rd in the standings. He's got a chance to win it as well. And Zubair Zaman, at the moment, right now, he won, but possibly looking over his mirrors because Sombit Duran has made the move. So looking over his mirrors championship-wise, you'll have to look ahead to actually see quite literally Sombit Duran. That's interesting. So maybe a bit more tension and a bit more of a battle developing in the Pro-Am class. In the Pro class, it's still very much game on. On board we go with Chadman Sabik. Bit of a scare as we go on board. Not that we specifically went on board, but with how close he was getting to the back of Abdullah Ayaz on that lap. Hit the braking to open up the lap. Stand on the power, and then it's a blast down. We start finish line. And a Rouge, Radion, and we've seen how strong the Slipstream can be. You need some good momentum, and if you can get some good momentum out of those corners, you've got a big opportunity to try and have an impact, to try and be a factor in the race. Here is Yasser. As all over the road. As all over the road goes Nirad. Yasser now looking to try and make the move. Outside, inside. He'll be on the inside line. That is where he'll look for it. Oh, it's going to get super tight. On the apex, we are side by side. As we now look to try and stand and get on the power. And Nirad is ahead of Intaz, under braking, and Nirad and Intaz are 9th, 10th, Yasser is 11th, and that is how that battle unfolded as they went scrapping with 34 minutes and, wait for it, 15 seconds to go. So an interesting first 10 minutes, just above that, that we've had right now. If we take a look at Yasser at the moment, looking to try and close it in. Good run through. Can they now send it into bus stop? Nope. It is quite literally a bus stop, isn't it? Drivers have to get on the brakes. I mean, the old bus stop chicane was really a proper bus stop, but you know, even to this day, even with the more later edition, they're still very much having to get to a complete halt, aren't they? You're high speed for so much of the lap, and then all of a sudden, it's all on those anchors, and hope you've got enough. So the drivers really varying with racing lines, some even corner cutting their way by, which I don't think the stewards will be too pleased of. On circuit, or making the move, inside line, and Mushfiq Yasser gets by, runs in slightly deep, it's going to put them offline through the next few couple of corners, and Zayan Intaz will drop down to 11th, finding themselves up in 10th. Is the driver who you're currently on board with, looking back at the latest driver that they have just passed. Into Pullon Corner, such a fast and very much interesting part of the circuit. 1.6 seconds between the top two. Further 1 second over to Shadman Sabik. That is how the top three lie. They are all still within range of one another. They are all still very much close. .3 seconds and getting close all the time. Does Abdullah Ayaz have anything to say to Tamjid bin Sultan? That'll be very interesting to see. Okay, this was Ali Arman. That's whatever you're watching at the moment. This was the battling down towards the end of the lap as they fought, and contact made right in the chicane, and a mess at Lecom, which can be the case so many times, and on that occasion it definitely was, wasn't it? The gap is 0.4 of a second. It has drastically come down between second and first. Shadman Sabik definitely needs some form of a gift here if he is to win this championship. He's still not looking in a good position even if he makes the overtake on Sultan, and so does Abdullah Ayaz. To have any chance at the title, Shadman Sabik must be second or first. That is to have any shot. And that then depends on where bin Sultan finishes. That depends on, where, yes, Tamjid bin Sultan finishes. And I guess we'll see how that goes. Fantastic to watch these drivers at work. What is their final race of the season? If you are just joining us, it is great to have your company. This is the final round of the Slipstream Esports GT3 Sim Racing Championship. You can see all of our absolutely fantastic sponsors and broadcast partners down bottom left of screen. Everyone who has helped make this whole season possible, the whole tournament possible, and anything that you've watched over the last few weeks would not have been possible without them. So we say a huge thank you to them for all of the work and effort that they've done. And we still have 29 minutes to go. So the race still progressing at a very rapid rate. We're still focused on this battle for the lead, because not only is this a battle for the lead, the context of it is much more higher than that, because this is a championship fight. Which I know there is a 16.5 point gap. But you have to consider, you have to absolutely consider the fact of that anything can happen in this championship, and it is important for Shadman Sabik to put himself in an important position, and if he does so, he has absolutely got the chance, got the shot to try and win it all. Is there going to be any tails left in this story that has taken part across 4 races, 4 rounds, 5 races? It'll become 6 by the time we see the checkered flag here today. Let's take a look at a replay of what took place further back. So this is through Malmedy corner we're making our way by, and are we going to get contact a few meters on? I think we will, and oof, not ideal is that. Bit of a clumsy contact as well, the car in behind just misjudging their braking point completely and slamming into the back. So it's not the ideal contact, is it? That they would have wanted. Okay, next battle that we're following is the one you're watching right now. Yasse versus Nirad. Interesting fighting this. This is for, as I mentioned, 9th and 10th overall in the race. And has there been a moment for Sarora Hussein going slightly slowly there, but now regrouping and going again. Still going wheel to wheel. So Nirad and Yasse are very much entertaining us with 25 minutes to go. About 20 minutes of racing, and we've still got 25 to go of this whole season. And it is super tight between Shadman Sabi because he looks to try and get onto the back of Abdullah Ayaz. Can he try and get the run? He's in the slipstream. This is the closest opportunity that he's had. It's a long shot for the title, but if a chance is there, a chance is there. He's got to try and utilize the chance and make something of it. Can he send it into the braking zone? How close can he get under braking? Very nearly slamming into the back of his rival and has put him right in behind. And we now take a look from the back of Abdullah Ayaz to really show you how close he gets under braking to the rear wing. And this time around he's going for it. Late on the brakes, down the inside, and Shadman Sadiq fights away by only for a second because it was the cutback, and the switcheroo goes in the favour of Abdullah Ayaz, who retakes the place of P2, and this fight is beginning to develop, and is developing in very much a way which will give us a very exciting 24 minutes with a championship on the line. So great to see a move like that being attempted, because we were stuck there waiting for any chance to come, and he knows that it was such an important chance and he tried his best to take it. What great fighting between them. And now let's see whether it will continue on. Tamjid bin Sultan hoping for more and more drama, because if there is that an inside line heading into... No, not quite into Speaker's Corner. Or that there was going to be a chance to get through. But the more that these two battle, they're going to be giving a bit of an advantage to Tamjid bin Sultan. That is not what these two want to be doing. But if you are Shadman Sadiq and you're not seeing Abdullah Ayaz be able to do anything, you're naturally going to want to try and make an overtake yourself, because you'll want to go and chase down your rival for the title. Okay, looking closer. This is now, we said it on the last lap, it's looking just as close, if not visibly even closer. Can he get tucked in? Can he try and make the move this time around as he try it into the bus stop chicane? Through Blanchimon. Hit the curb on the inside, hit the curb on the outside. He continues to get closer. Is there a lunge? Not quite, but he's going to surely set this one up. This time he hasn't run as far into the back. Oh, Sultan's gone off the road. Sultan goes off the road directly ahead as Abdullah Ayaz ran deep into the corner, and Shadman Sadiq is right there. Is Shadman Sadiq close enough to make another move on the brakes? He's definitely looking for it once more. Meanwhile, now the two of them find themselves close to Tamjid bin Sultan, who made a mistake off the road. And the top three have nothing to separate them. So Sultan cut the chicane at the bus stop chicane. Abdullah Ayaz was deep. Shadman Sadiq was the only one who made the corner normally and in the fastest way possible, but couldn't capitalize and do anything with it. The gap is decreasing very, very quickly, and we're to 0.3 of a second. Look how close this is, and it's super. Oh, and now this time Abdullah Ayaz is the one going off the road. Will it open the door? Inside line for Shadman Sadiq, and Shadman Sadiq, opportunistic driving, and he's made the move. He's taken the position, and Abdullah Ayaz has to slot in behind. And now, can Shadman Sadiq go all in to chase down his rival for the title and then hope for some form of drama? That was very close with the lap car. Was he able to get through? Yes. Just about. And Abdullah Ayaz will get through as well. We're now at the point of the season where it is beginning to get to fireworks territory. And I can definitely assure you, it is getting to send it territory. Okay. "20 minutes to go." Time is very much not on Shadman Sadiq's side. So he's got to try and do everything within this moment. So, out of the bus stop chicane and now down towards Aruj and Radion. Abir Ahmad, we've not really mentioned him much. Same with Ishrak Rahman. They're just getting on with their races, aren't they? They're just bringing this one home. I guess you have 3 drivers at the front who have such a paced advantage over them all, but then Abir Ahmad and Ishrak Rahman are also in their own little bubble, and then you have a gap to Samir Divan, who's also got a big gap, then to Zubair Zaman, who's then also got a big gap to Sayar Rahman, and then we finally get to a close battle, because Nirad is right all over the back of Rahman at the moment. So could that be an overtaking chance? I wonder. Seconds, 18 minutes I should say, on the clock to go. I'd be quite concerned if we were 18 seconds away from the season ending, because you know that would mean that time's gone so quickly. Which I know time is going quickly, but I would be very much concerned if we had 18 seconds. But no, we've got just under 18 minutes to go, everyone, left of this tournament. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has joined us across the races, and thank you for joining us as well in this season finale as well. And I also know a lot of the drivers like watching these back. I want to say a well done to all the drivers as well. We don't know which positions everyone will end up finishing in yet. 17 minutes to work that out, and then of course the steward reports after that too. Yes, well done on participating and putting on a great season. And it has been an absolute pleasure to be your commentator across it. But I'm also looking forward to sharing these remaining 17 minutes with you very, very shortly. Here is Shadman Sadiq all over the back of his rival for the title. It is a long shot, yes, but is there a chance? Also yes. The gap is 16. 2.5 points. And look at how close it is as they go through Puon. 16.5 points is the gap. Shadman Sabik needs to make the move first of all, and then also hope that Sultan possibly drops down. Could we possibly see some tactics come into play? Could he possibly try backing up Tamjid bin Sultan into some of the other drivers and hope they make some overtakes? Could we see some tactics like, you know, drivers have attempted in Formula 1 over the years? Whatever he does, he'll need to do it fair because, of course, steward reports are definitely something that can be considered, but I don't know. He's kind of in a hard place now because he may have the pace to take the lead, but that's fine. He can go win this race, but it still won't be enough for the championship. So I wonder whether he will possibly think about anything he can legally do to try and assist himself. But he's in a hard position, and of course they're all fair races as well. They'll all want to... Oh! Tamjid bin Sultan's gone off the road once again, and this time around, standing on the power, Shadman Sabik takes the lead. Sabik leads, and now he needs to hope for some drama in this championship battle. If Sultan drops down, and a bit more further down, there possibly could be a chance. But for the moment, it is game on between the pair of them. It was a mistake once again. Tamjid bin Sultan is beginning to feel the pressure, but now he's the one to apply the pressure to Shadman Sabik. We ride on board through Arouge to the highest point at Radion, and now in the slipstream. Can Tamjid bin Sultan fight his way back through? Shadman Sabik is going tight with defense to the inside line, and they're very close together. Millimeter stuff into the Omicomms chicane. All the way round the outside, hitting the corner and taking the lead. What a move. Tamjid bin Sultan. He won. And we didn't get to see what was going on the inside line, but we did get to see the roll all the way round. Out of Omicomms, outside to inside to P1. Tamjid bin Sultan retakes the lead at Spa. Here's some of the other battling. Mabo is losing out to Omar at the moment. Let's go back to this battle. Wow. What an interesting fight, what an interesting scrap this is. All tense the gap. Can Tamjid bin Sultan make the corner this time? He's had two moments through that part of the circuit, the previous laps which have cost him. It's well controlled into the braking zone. It's nicely handled, and that is what he would have wanted, absolutely. I mean, Shadman Sabik is not close enough to put some pressure on. Fast turn. Now on the power. We get ready to make our way through in towards the Omicomms chicane. Very much reaching the crunch point. We're very much reaching the time where the drivers need to get on with it. So, here we go. Arouge, Radion, Nerad, all over the back. But didn't actually have the momentum as he made his way onto the straight, so I guess kind of had a bit of a wiggle, had a bit of a twitch, and kind of lost a bit of time there in the process. Now through the corner he goes. Hussein's coming to the pit lane, by the way, further back. You're taking a look at Ishrak Rahman then. Second of a gap to Abir Ahmad. That is in terms of the gap that he's got ahead. So that's another battle that possibly could be developing just a little bit. Tamjid bin Sultan is looking now to break clear. The gap is 1.3. So it could very much soon be championship territory. And it will be. With every moment, every inch closer to the end and the conclusion of this race. So many different pace levels out there, but that's why we have 3 different class winners. Everyone's got a chance, everyone's got a shot, depending on what class they're in. And talking about a shot, Ishrak Rahman definitely has a chance to move up to 4th, because they are all over the back of Abir Ahmad at the moment. But this is an interesting battle that is taking place on the circuit at the moment. Let's look back over to Ishrak Rahman then. 5/10. The gap that'll be getting closer and closer all the time. Dropping down slightly was Navi Narad. Unsure what's gone on for them. Yes, they've had a moment somewhere further back. Into bus stop. Lap traffic out of the way. Oh well. In some cases. In others, some of the drivers might be finding it a little bit of an annoyance at times, and you can see they'll be flashing the headlights in a way that Ishrak Rahman's doing. The usual GT style. That is the GT style of racing, isn't it? Flash the headlight. And why would you not? Why would you not? I guess it's the advantage that you have compared to single seaters. That if you're annoyed, I mean, there are some things you can maybe do with your hands, but realistically, at least you've got a tool in the car. Just, you know, do something with it. Still getting super tight. There is Ishrak Rahman getting stuck behind some of the traffic, and that's going to cost him a few tenths to Abir Ahmad, who's just pulled a bit farther up the road. Right now, the top 3 in the championship are exactly how they came into this race. The top 3 in the championship are the top 3 on the road at the moment, and that's how they will finish provisionally, barring any late drama. 6 minutes to go. Not long remains. This championship, which started off in style at Barcelona, about to come to a conclusion a few weeks on. We mentioned this would go very quickly, and it absolutely has. Right, this was some of the drama going on further back in the field. And contact made into Pill 1 corner. And yeah, not ideal, was it? Not ideal. Those two cars that were involved, couldn't quite identify who specifically it was. As that is Hussein, momentarily stationary, and now continuing on and getting their foot back flat to the floor. Blanchimont. 5 minutes to go of the season. There is not long left at all. And we're getting very much closer to crowning some champions. Sayem Rahman looking to try and get past Nirad. Sayem Rahman trying to defend from Nirad is the sentence I intended to say. We're that far into the season where what you intend does not always come true as well. But yes, the other way around as to what I was describing. But now, get on the power. I should also add that I'm basically on like no sleep because of the F1 China weekend and then the usual 9 to 5 stuff here in the UK. It's meant that I've had 0 hours of sleep pretty much. So yeah, I'm going off basically no sleep from yesterday all the way through into today. And then once I'm done, I've got another gig after this. Once I'm done with that, then I'll sleep a few hours before Formula 1, Formula 1 sprint race at Shanghai. So yes, apologies if there's been anything else that has been obviously said wrong, but that is because I'm basically kind of a zombie at the moment because of the lack of sleep. So if there was anything else that I did say wrong and I didn't actually end up correcting, apologies for that. That was also the case last week, so if you did notice last week anything wrong said, then also apologies for that 1 week ago. But I guess that's what happens when you have Australia and China back to back at the start of the season. And of course the final 2 rounds of the Slipstream Esports Championship on the same weekend. Here we go then. Here we go. Very much game on. As onto the grass and onto the curb momentarily to get to the inside line. Nirad makes the move, gets the car slowed down and takes the position in the end. And he'll be quite delighted that he's been able to get there and get through as well. So, 2 minutes to go on the clock. It is very nearly time for Tamjid bin Sultan to get the winning moment, to get the championship moment. It's nearly there. It's nearly home. The gap is 0.8 of a second, by the way, between Shadman Sadiq and Tamjid bin Sultan. Is there going to be a fight? Right all the way till the end. It's going to be such an interesting story to try and follow. We're taking a look at some of the drivers in the mid-pack. I would love to go to the front to see whether, well, where they are around the circuit specifically. because of course we're getting very much closer through towards the final lap. When the final lap will be, very interesting as well to see. Tamjid bin Sultan's been able to get a 2-second gap over Shadman Sabik. So that's interesting. 1 minute to go. Of course, the lap that the lap where it ticks 0, that is the final lap of the race. That is how it works. So, whenever it does tick 0, that will be the final lap. I'm just trying to work out where they're positioned. We're taking a look in the mid pack, but I don't really know where they are at the front in terms of first and second place. So, just waiting to see. There we go. We've got a shot. So, we are making our way through the second sector. So this is the final lap. This is the final lap of the season. We spent a bit of time trying to work out where they were on the circuit. Oh, deep, wide, and Shadman Sabik has given it his all in this championship. But he is a driver who is well aware that this season will not belong to him. But the driver who it will belong to is going to be Tamjid bin Sultan, who has been under pressure by so many drivers across this season, across this campaign. He's had different drivers posing threats. I've always seen him as the one who has constantly stood in those higher end of positions. And now it is time for him to get the winning moment once again. 1 week ago, it looked like it was going to be his championship. Yesterday's race put him at a 16.5 point advantage. But now, the moment has arrived for Tamjid bin Sultan, who is the Pro Class Champion of Season 1. He has done the job brilliantly, and he is going to be celebrating as the quickest and fastest driver who has conquered them all. And he takes the Pro victory. Shadman Sabik gave it his all, but a 16.5 point advantage was too much to close back in. And he also had to settle in behind and finish in second. Abdullah Ayaz third. That is the order that the top 3 will end the championship provisionally in. And they're fighting all the way till the end. Abir Ahmad got to 4th ahead of Ishraq Rahman. They were 4th and 5th. Next over the line is going to be Sombit Dewan. And he will weave across the line and make his way up to 6th. Zubair Zaman, 20.7 seconds away, is going to be in 7th. As they will make their way over the line as well. But what a finish in the end. And what a fight. All the way until, as I say, the very end. Where the positions were that if there was any mistakes, if there was any errors from Sultan, he could have been punished and that could have been the championship gone at that moment. But he kept it ahead. He kept the track position as well. He kept it in positions where he didn't even need to be to win this championship. But he was there. And he had that extra level of security. And that is why he is your champion of this season, of this tournament. Final drivers coming over the line. Here is Saim Rahman, the final driver to take the line, to take the checkered flag, and to come to the line. He'll be. Yes, not long to wait till they will get there. They're over the line there. And P11. Well, Tamjid bin Sultan has done the job, and he is the champion. That is the pro class. And that has been some season. Well, it has been a pleasure to be with you across the entire campaign. I would like to say, first of all, congratulations to all the class winners. I'd like to remind you that all of the results are provisional, so things can very much change. So please do keep that in mind, and please keep an eye on the Slipstream Esports Instagram account to be aware of any changes as well that possibly could come in. It has been some journey across this campaign, which began in Barcelona. It took us all the way to Paul Ricard, to Zandvoort, and we have concluded at Spa. I would like to quickly say a huge thank you to all the sponsors and to everyone who has made this season possible. It has been one big journey, and one which has seen some fantastic action and racing along the way. The final thank you goes to you, the viewer, for joining us and watching as well this season, and we look forward to having your company when we do it all over again very soon, hopefully in the near distant future. But for myself, I've been your commentator Omi. You have been watching Slipstream Esports Championship, and it is goodbye.